श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः अक्षरब्रह्म योगः। Shloka number 13. So he is giving one more practice, the last practice. Omityekaksharam brahma vyaharan mamanusmaran yaf prayati tyajan deham sayati paramam gatim. So here he says that after the upasaka has brought the breath to his head, what he does is he will have to chant Om, and Om is referred to as the Ekaksharam. That means it has only one syllable. How it has only one syllable? We have A, U, Ma. How did it become only one syllable? The Ma is only half, so it will be discarded, meaning the count will not be taken for it. A and U will become O, so it will become one syllable. So it is called the Ekakshara. And for us, this Om refers to both the Nirguna Brahman and the Saguna Brahman. People who are practicing Saguna Upasana, they will also chant Om. There can be vichara or inquiry done into Om, which will relate to the state of your being. Like in Mandukya Upanishad, different letters will denote the different states of your consciousness. For example, A will denote your state of consciousness in the waking stage, Jagrata Avastha. And then in the Avastha, in the dream state, U will be used to represent. And will be used to represent your state of consciousness in the deep sleep state or the Sushupti Avastha. So these three states, the waking, the dreaming, and the deep sleep, these will represent different letters. The silence after that is used to denote the Turiya, the fourth. It is called the fourth, or your actual state of consciousness, which was always there, which was the basis of all the other states that you experience, was this. And this is your Atman. You can also do inquiry into this using this Om. That's what we are trying to say. Chanting, meditation purpose also you can use. And you make an inquiry into yourself. There also Om will be used, which is in Upanishads, it has been taught. So it is used to refer to both the Nirguna and the Saguna aspects. So one who will depart like this. Now here what we are talking about, the Saguna Upasaka, who is chanting the Om, he is meditating, and he chants this Om and he leaves the body. Then he will go to the Brahma Loka. But there are a lot of requisites in this path. So one by one we will see. There are almost 8 things you have to do to get to this state. One is you should have the Ishvara Lakshana Jnanam. What does that mean? You should know who is Ishvara. You should know the qualities. Read the scriptures. You should know who is God. That first knowledge you should have. Who is Ishvara? That is the first requisite. Second is Ishvara Smarana, which means you should remember Ishvara, not just knowing, okay, this is God, I know, that's it, close the book. No, not like that. You have to constantly keep remembering Ishvara. So that is number 2. And third is you have to do Swadharma Anushtana. Okay, I will remember Ishvara, but I'll be doing bad things. That is also not allowed. You have to do your duties. You have to be in the right path. You have to be in the right way. So that is number 3. And 4 is Ishvara Dhyana. Then you have to meditate on this Ishvara. You have to do that as a practice. Then you have to do this Yoga Abhyasa. That means you should know how to regulate your breath. That you should know. And then 6th is you should have Indriya Nigraha. You should have the ability to control your senses. 7th is you should have Mano Nigraha. You should have the ability to control your mind. And 8th is Omkara Ucharana. Final step, before releasing your Jiva, you will chant Om. So 8 steps that we will see again. Ishvara Lakshana Jnanam, knowledge of Ishvara. Second, Ishvara Smaranam, remembrance of Ishvara. Third, Swadharma Anushtanam, doing your duties. 4, Ishvara Dhyanam, meditating on Ishvara. 5 is Yoga Abhyasa, ability to control your breath, etc. Number 6, Indriya Nigraha, control of the senses. 7, Mano Nigraha, control over your mind. 8 is Omkara Ucharanam, chanting of Om. So all these are requisites to go in this Krama Mukti path. So we will see the individual meanings of these words. Om iti ekaksharam brahma. So Om is representing both the Saguna and the Nirguna aspect of the Brahman. Iti, thus, ekaksharam. Ekaksharam we saw, it is only one syllable. It is considered as only one syllable. Brahma. So it represents this Brahman. Vyaharan Mam Anusmaran. Vyaharan means chanting. So he is chanting this Om, Mam. Mam means Krishna is talking about himself as Ishvara. Mam, so he remembers me, Anusmaran. He is remembering me by chanting Om. Yaha prayati tyajan deham. Yaha, who prayati departs, tyajan quitting deham body. So the one who departs like this chanting Om and remembering me as Ishvara, Saha yati paramam gatim. Saha, that person, yati attains paramam, the supreme gatim, goal. So he attains the supreme goal. Like that he says. The general translation becomes, one who departs from the body while remembering Ishvara and chanting the syllable Om will attain the supreme goal. So till here, now he has finished all the niyamas or the practices that must be followed at the time of death by a upasaka, the person meditating on the Saguna Brahman. Then he goes on to talk about a few more things. He wants to encourage the people and he gives some tips. He says that if you do it in this way, it will be very easy for you. Like that he says, shloka number 14. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulabhav partha nityayuktasya yoginah. Here he says that it is very easy to attain me. If something has to be easy, you must have interest in it. Only then you will say it is easy. So first you should get the interest. So then only you can have this one-pointed fixation on that. Talks about some qualities. Ananya chetaha. That means without the deviation of the mind. So your mind should not be deviated. He says here satatam. Satatam means you should do it always. Always meaning it is described as nairantaryam. It is described as there should be no break. You should not have any breaks in between. No Saturday, Sunday, no holidays. Like that, there should be no break. And nityashaha. Nityashaha means you should do it constantly and regularly for a long time. Dirgha kalam. That is how it is described. You should do it for a very long time without any breaks. So what are the three things he is saying here? Satatam and Nityashaha will denote almost the same thing. But it is described specifically as Satatam being Nairantaryam without any break. And Nityashaha being Dirgha Kalam, which is long time. And then what are you doing? Ananya Chetaha. That thing which you are doing, you should do it without the deviation of the mind. For example, if you take up 20 minutes of Bhagavad Gita, right? It should be without a break. One day break if you give, the mind will start tricking you. Okay, today is fine. Tomorrow I will start. Then tomorrow it will be something else. So that is why no break should be given. If it's Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter. It has to be done every day. Then your mind will not give you any excuses. That is why this kind of practice is emphasized, that there should be no break. Okay, I will do without any break, but I will do only for 10 days. No, till the end, till your last breath. Any practice you take up something small, but make sure you will do it. And make sure you do it for a very long time so that it gets ingrained in you. What we are trying to do is break our old habits. Break our old habits and create new samskaras, so that these become automatic for us and we don't have to think, we don't have to put much effort. Our mind will not say, no, today I'm lazy, today I'm tired, oh, I have so many things to do. Like that, the mind will not say, because it has become automatic for you. So that's what is being told here. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, also it has been said, Satu Dirghakala Nairantarya Satkara Asevito Dridhabhumihi. So when observed constantly with reverence for a long period of time, it is firmly established. Whatever you need to do, you have to do for Nairantaryam without a break, and it should be Dirghakala. It has to be done for a very long time. Then this will be firmly implanted in you, and you did not put extra effort for it. So that's why one practice you take and you do it. And without a deviation of the mind, focus on that thing. Only if it is one practice, that is fine. But do it with these qualities. Don't take up too many things and neither you're focusing on anything. It should not be the case. And it should not be that you'll take up so many things that after 2 days you have to stop and you can't continue for a long time. Or you don't feel like doing it because it's too huge a task and then you have to take so many breaks. So pick something which is easily continuable and don't overwhelm yourself. Just with one practice, you continue. And you will get the confidence that you can continue it. You did not do so many things at once and do nothing at all after some time. The meanings are ananya chetaha, without the deviation of the mind. So it has to be done without the deviation of the mind. Satatam. We said satatam here is nairantaryam, which means no break. And yaha mam smarati. So the person who remembers me, smarati remembers, nityashaha. Nityashaha means here dirgha kalam, for a long time. Tasyaham, for him, sulabhaha partha, I become very easily attainable. For Arjuna, nitya yuktasya yoginaha. The definition of this person is nitya, constantly is engaged in this. So for this person, this goal becomes so effortless. Like that Krishna is saying. So the general translation is, O Arjuna, for those yogis who always think of me, I am easily attainable because of their constant absorption in me. In shloka number 15. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gataha. So in shlokas 15 to 19, he is going to talk about the nature of moksha and the nature of the samsara. He is going to mix the two things together and he is going to talk in shlokas 15 to 19 about this. So here he says that Mahatmas, Mahatma meaning here people with purified minds. So they will get the highest goal, which is the moksha. And he will say that Napnuvanti, they will not come back. Napnuvanti punarjanma, they will not get this next janma again. And why they will not get this janma again? Because they have focused their mind of this. Having achieved that, they need not come back. Having attained me, they need not come back. So he is describing Mahatmas in such a way. And he says that janma, for that janma, the birth, he describes it as dukkhalayam. Alayam means house. Dukkhalayam means a house full of miseries. Our bodies will be described as devalayam. Devalayam, when it is used for good things, it will be described as a house of God. But if it is used for bad things, it is told as dukkhalayam, the house of misery. And he is also giving another description for this samsara, which is ashashvatam. Everything is impermanent. So whatever relationships, whatever physically you own, all this is impermanent. It is going to go away. So this is the kind of the samsara you are dealing with. And dukkha also, it is divided into three. We know that adhyatmikam, that means it is coming from us. You have a stomach pain. That is adhyatmikam. It is coming from you. And adhibhautikam means somebody has caused you pain from an external source. Some other person has told you something, then that is adhibhautikam. And adhidevikam means it is coming from nature. So these are the way in which the dukkha is being separated as three. And in some way you will get this misery. Either you will create it or it will come from somewhere or somebody or the nature will create it. So it is a part and parcel of life and you should try to escape this because it is not worth it. And you are living in such a world which is not permanent. We'll see the meanings. Mam upetya punaha janma. Mam upetya. Mam means me. Upetya means having attained. Having attained me. Punaha janma. Punaha janma, again the janma. Na apnuvanti. Like that we have to read. Never apnuvanti. They don't attain. And the janma has been described as, the janma is the birth, which is dukkhalayam. It is the house full of miseries. And also ashashvatam, which is temporary. And these Mahatmanaha, the great souls, they're talking about not the Atma, they're talking about the people with the pure mind. Atma here means the mind. So people with the pure mind, samsiddhim, they have attained the perfection. Paramam gataha, having attained the paramam is the highest, gataha is the having achieved. So having achieved the highest perfection, and they have attained me, so they do not take another birth and come back. Here they are talking about the videha mukti that we described. So in this janma, when you get the mukti, it is called the jivan mukti. So the person who is a jivan mukta, he will get the videha mukti, which means no birth, no body. So that mukti is being talked about here. So what he is talking about is to develop vairagya, to develop this kind of dispassion towards this world. He's talking about some of the qualities of the samsara also. So, shloka number 16. Abrahma bhuvanal lokaha punaravartinorjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. So, here he is talking about the lokas also. He's talking about, okay, in this world, so it is not permanent. What about all the heavens and all those things? Below us, there are 7 lokas. Above us, there are 6 lokas. So, in those lokas, he says, Brahma Bhuvana Lokaha. Up to the Brahma Loka, everything is perishable. That means what? You will go there, you will be there only for some time. When your punya expires, you have to be removed from there. So, he says that all the other worlds also, all the lokas, up to the Brahma Loka is subject to rebirth. So you will go there, stay for a small amount of time. Like when you go for a holiday, it is very nice. You go there, stay for a week, you have to come back, right? Like that will be our fate. You cannot stay there forever. Again, have to come back to your job, cooking, whatever. So only in Brahma Loka, there is possibility of this Krama Mukti. In Kathopanishad, it is said, Chaya tapayoriva Brahma Loke. That means in the Brahma Loka, the Atman is realized as distinctly as a light from shadow. 2 worlds, there is a possibility of your liberation. One is here, in this Manusya Loka, there is a very great chance of liberation. You should not miss it. That's why they are emphasizing so much that please don't leave this chance. If you lose this chance, 8 practices you have to do. Strenuous. Go to Brahma Loka, then attain liberation there. Brahma Loka, it is possible. What happens to all the lokas in between? It is told in Kathopanishad, like Gandharva Loka, Pitru Loka. What will happen is you will have excessive enjoyment. You will have excessive enjoyment that you will not be inclined to liberation. And in lokas below you, the hell and all that, extreme torture and misery will be there. That time also you cannot think about liberation. So the best place is when you have a balance of the 2. Sometimes you feel happy, sometimes you feel sad. This is the kind of a congenial environment for liberation. So only this loka and Brahma Loka. So the only 2 lokas are being talked about. And lokas also can mean bodies. Whatever body you get into, before this, we don't know whatever bodies we had, maybe animal body, maybe like a worm. We don't know how we were, and we don't know that next body also how we will be. So all these bodies are impermanent. Like we saw in chapter 2, Vasamsi Jirnani Yata Vihaya Navani Grinnati Naroparani Tata Sharirani Vihaya Jirnani Anyani Samyati Navani Dehi. So chapter 2, shloka number 22. We are taking up the bodies just like the garments, and just like we discard the garments, we throw them away. So these bodies are impermanent. Like that, everything is impermanent. Lokaha would also mean bodies. So Krishna is emphasizing the impermanence of all these things here. We'll see the meanings. Brahma Bhuvanat. Brahma Bhuvanat, up to the abode of Brahma. Lokaha, the worlds. Punaha Avartinaha Arjuna. Punaha Avartinaha means you are subject to rebirth. O Arjuna. Mam Upetya. Mam means mine. Upetya means having attained. Kaunteya, O Arjuna. Punaha Janma na vidyate. Punaha Janma means the rebirth. Never vidyate. You will not get rebirth once you attain me. So try to attain me, because this chance, if it is missed, then we don't know which body we will be taking. The general translation is, in all the worlds of this material creation, up to the highest abode of Brahma, you will be subject to rebirth, O Arjuna. But on attaining me, O son of Kunti, there is no further rebirth. Now he is going to continue on this topic of impermanence. It is related to the topic of impermanence only. Shloka number 17. Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyad brahmano viduhu ratrim yuga sahasrantam teho ratra vido janaha. Here he says, he talking about the wise people. And he says that the wise people know about the Brahma's day. So the Brahma's day is equal to 1000 Divya Yugas. We have seen that before, but in this shloka that calculation is needed. So we said that Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. So Dwapara Yuga will be double that of the Kali Yuga. So 864,000 years. And then Treta Yuga will be 3 times that of Kali Yuga. So 1.296 million years. And Satya Yuga will be 4 times that of Kali Yuga. That is 1.728 million years. So this is a calculation. All this together, this 4 yugas together makes up 4.32 million years, which is known as the Divya Yuga or Mahayuga. So all this together. And also there will be some dusk periods and some dawn periods between the yugas. There is a gap. So that is also 10% of the yuga period will be the gap. So we are right now in the 20th Kali Yuga of the current Manu. There will be 14 Manus, and each Manu is the first man. So he will have 71 times these yugas. So now, right now, we are in the 28th Kali Yuga of the current Manu. This is known as the Manvantara. Manvantara means one era of the Manu. So each Manu will have 71 times the Divya or the Mahayugas. And there will be 14 Manus in total. 7 Rishis, 1 Indra, and 1 Manu will appear in each Manvantara, which is 306.72 million years or 71 Divya Yugas. So 6 Manvantaras have passed and we are in the 7th Manvantara. We said there are 14 in total. You can go through this later if it's confusing. So basically we have the various yugas, Kali, Dwapara, Treta and Satya Yuga. And all this together we call it the Divya or the Mahayuga. And the Manvantara is the period of the Manu, and there are 14 such Manus. And each Manu will have 71 Divya Yugas. Then there are these Sandhyas, which are the dusk and the dawn periods. And then there will be partial destruction. That's why we are coming to this point itself. So there will be partial destruction at this time. And then we are mostly interested for this sloka in Kalpa. Kalpa is 1 day of the Brahma. And that is equal to actually 4.32 billion years, which is basically 1000 Divya Yugas. And this is 1 day of the Brahma. Similarly, 1 night of the Brahma will be 4.32 billion years. That is where the destruction will happen. So the day of the Brahma, the creation will happen. Night of the Brahma, the destruction will happen. But this destruction is only partial destruction because the Brahma is still living and the Brahma has an age of 100 years. That is the lifespan of Brahma. So what happens is that calculation is 36,000 kalpas or the days of the Brahma and equal number of nights is equal to 100 years of the Brahma. The lifespan of the Brahma is 100 years, and that is also divided into 250 years each, which is known as the Parardas. So now why we need to know all this is Krishna is talking about the Pralayas. Pralaya means dissolution. So I told you that the Brahma's life is totally 100 years, but is divided into 50 and 50, which is known as the Parardas. And for us now, 50 years have passed of that Brahma. In this cycle, we are in the second Pararda. And previous Kalpa was known as the Padma Kalpa, and now it is known as the Shvetavaraha Kalpa. So what we are getting into is this Pralaya or this devastation. So there are three we talk about. One is the Nitya Pralaya, which is every day when we sleep, we are going through this Pralaya. There is destruction and there is creation. Actually, every day it has been happening. It is known as the Nitya Pralaya. What is this Naimittika Pralaya is after one day of the Brahma, there will be devastation. That will be a partial destruction, which is known as the Naimittika Pralaya. And again, after the night, again the day of the Brahma, then the beings will again come back. And full destruction will happen after 100 years of Brahma's age, which is the Prakritika Pralaya or the Mahapralaya. So these are the three types of Pralayas. And Krishna wants us to know this. You know why? Because he says that if you think that, okay, I am too lazy or I cannot take a path of liberation, don't think that during Pralaya you're going to be liberated. Your accounts will still hold true, and using the same karma account, you're again going to be reborn. That is why he is bringing up all these topics. We will be attached to our karmic account, and from that karmic account, we will take a body again after the Pralaya also. And also this is related to the Sankalpa that we say. For the Sankalpa, whenever we do a puja or whenever we take up any religious activity, we have to give the time tagging and the geo tagging. So this is also a relation to what we have seen now, that we are in the Dvitiya Pararde. We are in the second half of the Brahma's life that I said, like 50 years have passed. And we are in the Shvetavaraha Kalpe, that is the name of this Kalpa or the day of the Brahma, and Vaivasvata Manvantara. So he is the seventh Manu now. 6 Manus have passed, and Ashtavimsati Tame. That means the 26th Chatur Yuga of this current Manu, and we are in Kali Yuga, and we are in the first quarter of the Kali Yuga. And then the rest are all geotagging, which you can see. I will share it in the documents folder. So it is very self-explanatory. And this is what we are saying in our Sankalpa. So why Krishna is bringing this topic? One day of the Brahma is equal to 1000 Divya Yugas. One night of the Brahma is equal to 1000 Divya Yugas. During the day, there is creation. During the night, there is devastation. There is Pralaya. And again, during the day, again, all the beings come forward. All the beings come forward, meaning not new beings. Beings having their old karmic balance. Those beings come forward. That's what Krishna wants to say. And the wise person knows this. Like that, he is saying the shloka, and then he is elaborating. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. So 1000 years Paryantam. Until that, Ahaha Yat Brahmanaha Viduhu. Brahmanaha means the wise people, Viduhu. They know that Ahaha means the daytime and Sahasra means 1000. So they know that the day of the Brahma, which is also known as a Kalpa, is equal to 1000 Divya Yugas or 1000 Mahayugas. That the wise people know. Ratrim Yuga Sahasranta. So Ratrim means night, Yuga Sahasranta lasts for 1000 years. 1000 years means 1000 Divya Yugas. Ahaha Ratra Vidaha Janaha. So Ahaha Ratra Vidaha means the people who know this day and night. Janaha means people. So the people who know the day and the night of the Brahma, which is the Kalpa of the Brahma, as 1000 Yugas, they are the wise people, like that he is saying. Why he is saying that? Because he wants to talk about karma. That is why he is saying this here. So the general translation becomes, one day of the Brahma or the Kalpa lasts 1000 cycles of the 4 ages, Mahayuga, and his night also extends for the same span of time. The wise who know this understand the reality about day and night. Shloka number 18. अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्त्यः रागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसंज्ञके. So he talks about creation and dissolution. As I said to you, all the beings come forward during Brahma's day and they go back into the unmanifested at the night time. They come from the unmanifested during the daytime. Unmanifested here meaning Maya. From there we said that from the seed form it will come, right? So the Maya is a seed form from where all the beings come forward in the day, and at the night they go back into the seed form. So we'll see the meanings. Avyaktat. Avyaktat means from the unmanifested, which is the Maya. Vyaktayaha sarvaha. Avyaktat vyaktayaha sarvaha. Vyaktayaha means the manifested. Whatever beings are being manifested is coming from the seedal form, which is unmanifested. And then Prabhavanti ahaha agame. Ahaha agame means at the advent of the Brahma's day. Ahaha. It comes forward in the daytime. Prabhavanti. It emanates during the daytime. Ratri agame. Ratri agame means at the advent of the night. Praliyante. They will dissolve. Tatra eva. Certainly they will dissolve. Avyakta sanyake. Sanyake means named. Avyakta means unmanifest. So the unmanifest here they are talking about is the Maya. So sometimes the Avyaktam, unmanifest that they talk about will be the Maya. Sometimes the Avyaktam that they talk about will be the Brahman. So based on the context, we have to understand it. Here it is referring to the Maya. So in chapter 2, we had this based on the Maya. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktanidhananyeva tatraka paridevana. So it is chapter 2, shloka number 28, where he said, all the beings are unmanifest before birth, and again they are manifest, and then they go back into the unmanifest, which is death. So why are you grieving for it? Like that he asked. First it was unmanifest, then they were born, which was manifest, then they are going back into the unmanifest. So for this cycle, why are you crying? It is always there. You are seeing it, you are not seeing it. It is going from unmanifest to manifest to back to unmanifest. So don't cry for that, he said. So similarly here, it is coming and it is going back. The general translation is, at the advent of Brahma's day, all living beings emanate from the unmanifest source, and at the fall of this night, all embodied beings again merge into this unmanifest source. Shloka number 19. Bhutagramasya evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratriagame vashav partha prabhavatyah ragame. So the message actually is given only in the shloka. He's saying that this papa and punya, if you are thinking that whenever there is a pralaya, that you will be liberated, you are not going to be liberated. The papa and punya will be attached to you. In your account only it will be there, and your body will again come back unless you are liberated. Why your papa and punya will not go away during a pralaya? Because there will be some doshas or there will be some faults. For example, you are working in a company. You are working, but your colleague gets the salary. Will that be fair? It will not be fair. Like that, your papa punya is there, but suppose you are not undergoing that result of that papa and punya, then it will be unfair. That will be one fault. And suppose your friend borrowing money from the bank and you are asked to return it. Will that be fair? It will not be fair. That person only has to return the money, right? So that kind of faults will come if you get liberated during pralaya. And what about people who are seeking liberation, all their hard work? Then why are they trying for liberation if you are going to get liberated at the end of pralaya? So all those faults are being discussed, and that does not happen. This shloka is there to say that only you again will come forward with your papa and punya, and you will have the birth and you will undergo everything based on your papa and punya. And this shloka is there to talk about the role of bondage and liberation. Why you should know this shloka? to cultivate the desire for liberation and also to develop the vairagya, to develop a disdain to this samsara. That's why these points have been told by Krishna, and it is said in the Upanishad, in the Mundaka Upanishad, Bhidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani. That means when you are liberated, Vidyate hridaya granthi, all the knots of the heart, they are released. Chidyante sarva samshayaha, no doubts are there. And then shiyante chasya karmani. Main thing is all the karmas will go away. That's why you need to be liberated. So this is the point of the shloka. And this shloka highlights the karma theory because three things it teach you is first is it will help you to take responsibility. Karma helps you to take responsibility. Suppose you have a glass crystal in your house and somebody who comes to clean your house, he has broken the crystal. You get angry at him. But suppose it slipped from your own hand. Will you be that angry? You will not be that angry. You will be a little bit mad at yourself, but you're not going to be that angry. So whenever a responsibility comes to you for your life, then your negative emotions will go away. So you have to take responsibility for where you are in life. And once the responsibility comes, then the acceptance will come. Then you don't need to feel jealous. You don't need to compete. You don't need to do all those things. You can work in your own path for your own goal, because your life is separate from other people's lives. First is responsibility, then the second will be the acceptance, and third will be the self-effort, which is most important. If you want to change your life, you have to put the self-effort. Just being jealous or being competitive will not solve any problem. You have to put the self-effort to change your life. So three things are emphasized as responsibility, acceptance, and self-effort. That is what karma is about. If we understand karma theory properly, these things automatically we will realize. So we'll just look at the meanings. Bhutagramasya evayam. Bhutagrama means this multitude of beings. Saha, these certainly I am. This bhutva bhutva praliyate. Repeatedly it dissolves. When it dissolves, ratriagame. So you have to read like this. Bhutva bhutva praliyate ratriagame. When the night comes, all these beings will dissolve. And then avashaha partha prabhavati ahaha agame. Ahaha agame means when the daytime comes, avashaha, helplessly. You think you are a big shot, you think you are this and that, but avashaha, he says you are helplessly being born. No need for any ego, no need to think you are really great, because you are helplessly being born and sucked into the samsara. Avashaha partha prabhavanti, they manifest ahaha agame at the advent of the day. So, the general translation is, the multitude of the beings repeatedly take birth with the advent of the Brahma's day and are reabsorbed on the arrival of the night to manifest again automatically on the advent of the next day.